Well, hi, welcome back to my shop. Today I'm going to do a short little quick project because right behind me I got a bunch of plywood. Let's see, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sheets of plywood behind me that I'm going to want to cut up soon. Now I like to use my track saw and I just like to cut them right here on the workbench. But I don't want to cut into my workbench, of course. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make up some more of these things. Basically what there is a dowel and just a scrap piece of 2x4. And then I just put it into the dog holes on my workbench and it raises up 1.5 inches. So these work pretty good, but the problem is I only got one right now. I made this before for a sample, works great. And then another thing too is later on you guys use it just to, when you put them in a dog hole, you can use it to press against when you do some other projects for clamping and so forth too. So either rising or clamping, these would be good for. So I want 8 total at least. So I'm gonna need to make at least 7 more. So I have quite a few pieces of scrap 2x4. I got some 3/4 inch dowel. So let's get busy and make these. And just so you know, these are gonna be, longest are gonna be 6 inches. I feel that's adequate. And a few of these are shorter than 6 inches, which that'll be fine too. But I'm just going to keep them 6 inches or shorter. So let's do this. It should be a fun little quick project, all right? Yeah. Which sometimes those are the best. I don't want any splinters. You get all these little fragments and so forth, so I'm going to sand all those off. Use my dust mask. Now I'll do that about 8 or 9 more times and I'll be all set to start drilling. Okay, now that I have all 7 of my blocks sanded so that I don't get any splinters off my blocks when I'm using them later on. They're nicely sanded. I want to mark the exact center or very close to the exact center of these blocks for the drill bit. So I just go from corner to corner with some type of a straight edge. That way I mark it, of course, right in the center. And then what I like to do is take a nice pick or some type of punch and actually make an indentation right in that center. That way, when later on when we go to drill them, the drill bit's gonna, I'm gonna use a Forstner bit and they have a little point in the very center and that go right in there and it'll be very precise. Not that these have to be precise, but hey. If we're going to do it, let's do it as best as we can. Okay, I have a fence here on my table saw, just a homemade thing, just a couple 2x4s screwed together. That way I'll keep these blocks from twisting and get out of control. Since they're kind of short and it's kind of hard to hang on to them, and obviously I don't want my hand to hit the drill bit. I still will hang on with my hand, but at least this way they can't spin real fast. And so right here is my indentation that I made with my ice pick. And let's get started. Let's drill these out, and also I have it set so that my stop on my drill press, it'll go halfway through this board, so it'll go down 3/4 of an inch into the board and stop. And as you can see, it no time at all, we have all the holes drilled into these blocks. Now, next, we gotta cut some dowels. Now, with the help of a squeeze clamp and a scrap piece of 3/4 inch lumber, I set it up so that I want to cut a 3-inch dowel. And the reason for that is that the dowel will go 3/4 of an inch into the block and also be long enough that if I have to, I can push up from the bottom of my work table if it should ever get stuck in there. But anyhow, it's gonna be 3 inches long anyhow. Not exact, but close enough for this. Okay, that gives me 7 of them. Okay, now with my blocks sanded and my dowels cut to length and also the points sanded in order to make them easier to put them into the holes, the dog holes, and also easier to put them into the blocks to put a little extra glue into the hole just so it does squeeze up and around. I spin it a little bit just to get it nice and spread around in there. So you see I'm just putting a decent amount of glue in there. And there we go. Now let's let these set for, we'll let them sit overnight actually. But the shop is warm enough now for the glue to dry. It's like almost 60 degrees in here. It will cool off tonight, probably down to 40. But by that time these will be set, and it only takes half hour. Maybe an hour in a little cooler conditions, but in a half hour to hour, these would be nice and set and everything will be good. Okay, so just like that, with a few pieces of scrap 2x4, with some hardwood 3/4 inch dowel, maple dowel, and with about half hour of my time, and of course a little bit of glue, I now have 8 dog hole riser push block thingies. I'm not really sure what to call them, but they're going to come in really handy. Very handy. Like I said before, the risers will be great when I cut plywood down to make sure that my circular saw blade does not cut into my bench top. And also, these are going to work good for pushing wood against. Now I do have some of these little dog holes. I'm not sure what you call them. I just call them dog hole push pins, I guess. They work great, but they're a little bit expensive, but they work great. They do have one flat side, which sometimes is nice. They are a little profiled if you're using a hand plane or so forth. So between both things, this should work out good. I have low profile dog pins, and I have high profile dog hole riser push block thingies. So this is a great way to use up some more scrap in my shop. And I really like using scrap as much as possible. I do burn some for heat and stuff here in the winter time, but I'd rather use it for something useful that's going to last for several years. So that's about all for today, I guess. So go out and shop, make something. It can be big, it can be small. It doesn't matter. It's just fun to be in a shop making something. So until next time, have a great day.